Alright, here's an old watchmaker's lathe that I've reconditioned, and I stripped the head down completely, and now it moves extremely smooth. There was a locking nut back here, if you look here, that I had to use a Dremel tool and cut a piece in that, or cut a gap in that. And then I pounded it down a bit, and then I used a screwdriver to tighten it, and that way the head is right on the money, nice and tight. I had two of these, but there wasn't enough thread on the inside of that to grab two and lock them that way, so I did this, which works really good and tightens that up. The other little minor thing I had here was that this cap here that's used for the nuts that are on this side is really loose, so I just used a little bit of plumber's tape and wrapped it around, and that worked perfectly. Completely cleaned this here, the pulleys and the ends and the spindle. Took the spindle out, cleaned all that, and it works like a charm. There it is there. Just spin that with the counter shaft. I just made a nice leather belt for this one here, but this belt I made yesterday is noisy as heck, so I'm going to wait till I get some leather here, shoelace, and make another leather belt here, and this will be smooth as heck. But that lathe runs really well, so that's a thing of beauty. Anyway, that's the little bit of work I did on the lathe. You're going to make sure you have plenty of oil right here and right here. And again, I use some fine, it's not sandpaper, it's like steel wool, except it's fake steel wool, and it cleans up everything. So you just use that on metal and cleans it up nice, and then when you're finished cleaning the lathe bed and adjusting it, you put a little bit of oil on this. I use synthetic oil, 5W20, and I put a little oil in the bed here so this can go back and forth nice and easily. So do that, move that back and forth, no problem. And then you get a little thing here that you just push down on like that. This lathe has got these little oil caps here, like this, and I just put oil on them. And I also oiled the brass fittings inside both sides here. And there's a wick that goes all the way up here, and then it spreads out in the brass fitting. And then the oil makes its way up the hole that's inside here from here and into where the brass fitting is. I almost remembered what it's called, but anyway, it's a beautiful lathe. These little oil caps are cool. I also cleaned them up. The whole thing was a real mess before, so that's nice and clean there as well. And the thing runs really well. There we go. Anyway, it's a quick little video to show you what I did there. And if you're going to take a lathe apart, you're going to need an Allen key to remove or loosen that, and then you just start unscrewing stuff. And my recommendation is to lay things from left to right. Like I laid all the parts on this side on one side, I laid all the parts on the other side on this side, and then I cleaned all the parts using lighter fluid. Here's my dirty lighter fluid leftovers. So I cleaned every part using lighter fluid, and then it evaporates completely, and then you reassemble, re-oil, and you get a brand new lathe. And that was sticky as heck. Wouldn't work properly at all. So anyway, I'm not sure the brand of this lathe. Let's see if I can see that in the back. It's got some, what's this? PER something OWOM. Petrom. Anyway, there's a number on the headstock, 57, and there's also a number in the lathe bed, 57. So these are matched perfectly. I'm not sure whether the tailstock has 57 in it as well. Should, but it doesn't have anything on it. Can't see it anyway. And I had done a repair on the tailstock using JB Weld before, because this wouldn't tighten, and now it does. So it was broken, and I used JB Weld in here to just tighten that up. and if I loosen this, then this comes out, and I put JB Weld over the outside and bit on the inside, then I filed the inside so it would work, and then you just tighten it like that. That's tight, but I very rarely use a tailpiece anyway. That's the lathe. That's the work I did on the lathe. I have a bunch of photos of it disassembled and stuff, but you can look those up. Anyway, it's a lot of work, but at the end of the day you get a beautiful piece. And these little oil caps are pretty cool, using the blah 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 scientific syndrome of liquid oil moving itself up to the what the heck is that called? Moving itself up to where the spindle is and where the brass joint is in there. Anyway, that's it. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.